Well, here I am at another camping site in New Brunswick. Now, this one's one I booked online, and to be honest, it's not exactly what I thought it was. I was looking for a place by a river, and this particular one, I think it has about 300 sites. So I figured, well, there's got to be a good proportion of them that are by the river, and I was wrong. It's my own fault for not doing my research, but yeah, I don't really have river access here, and lesson learned. Why do I need river access this time? Well, you might notice I've got a new decoration on my tow vehicle, on my Jeep. That beautiful orange, yellow, and red thing is a kayak. Why do I have a kayak? Well, first of all, I think a few videos ago, I was sort of pondering, well, was there ways to improve my towing performance by putting stuff on the roof? And one of the things I wondered is, well, what if you just put a boat upside down on a roof? The other was if I could put a snowboard on the roof. Well, guess what? Snowboard totally worked. Kayak, it didn't work at all. I got really bad towing gas mileage. So yeah, there's probably better ways of doing it, but the way I did it, and I've got it out front a little bit more, but it really did not have a positive effect on performance. But that's not the only reason I got a kayak. It's because I wanted a kayak. There was a few, I think it was in the fall, I put out a video. It was mostly on bug spray, but in that video, if you go back to it, you'll find that I was talking about one of my phobias. And this kayak is one of the things that's going to get me over that phobia. So I'm really excited to trying it out. I'm hopefully going to try it out here, even though there's not good access. I'll just make it work. I'll find a way to a river and see if I can put that kayak in. Other news, as of, I think, was it a week or so ago, Americans that are fully vaccinated are allowed into Canada again after a long time, and I want to welcome all those Americans because you are welcome here. Come on up, enjoy some camping in Canada, and hopefully in a little time they will also want the Canadians to come down south again. I'd really like to get down there even just for a few weeks, so hopefully that's going to happen soon. Fingers crossed.
After rising the next day, it was time to make a little trip with my new friend. Perhaps my outback felt a little jealous, as it wasn't invited for this journey. At the far edge of the campground, I found a small space by a beach where I could park.
Now, I haven't got this on the roof properly. I've used one of the greatest inventions, the pool noodle, to keep my kayak secure, and ropes. The problem with this is it actually takes me a little bit of time to take it off, put it on again because I don't have a correct kayak rack. But hey, I'm just starting out. I gotta start somewhere. Well, at this point I only have the basics. I've got the oars, I've got the floppy hat. Gotta have a floppy hat, I don't know why. And I've got a waterproof bag, and that's basically to keep my camera equipment, cell phone, insect repellent, everything else. One thing I totally need on a day like today is some SPF 50 sunscreen, because I'm gonna bake out there. There's no trees out in the water. Direct sunlight all the time. Double for the nose. There we go. Oh, this is so nice. Beautiful day. This is the St. John River, and it's by a dam, hydroelectric, which doesn't make it 100% natural, but it certainly does give an opportunity to go kayaking. Now I feel relatively safe just because there's not many waves, very little current. I'm certainly not ready for whitewater kayaking over some falls and cascades. That's not going to happen anytime soon. It has to be really calm, baby steps. Because, yeah, I had years and years and years of phobia. Now, fear of the water, I think, is entirely justified, because it's been proven the number one cause of death in state parks and provincial parks and national parks is drowning. Drowning is a serious issue. And the fact that I'm not a good swimmer sort of means, I'm probably one of those most likely to drown in an emergency situation. But I do have a life jacket on, and in my swimming training, I always had that life jacket when I was in the deeper part of the pool. I feel a lot more comfortable. If I was out here without a life jacket, I would not be comfortable at all. This is a very light canoe. Actually, I can go a pretty reasonable speed. Great exercise, but it doesn't have to be exhausting. If you really want to go fast, like I'm going a little faster now, probably work on my shoulder muscles. But You need to have that strength if you do get into a current, especially if you start off going with the current and you still have to go back against the current. Build up those muscles. Wow, look at the fall colors. It's only August. The kayakers I saw in the Rockies were the kind that wouldn't get down, fast flowing rivers and cascading streams. And that scared the living hell out of me. There's no way I was going to do that, especially when I was out, I think it was the Sheep River, and there was a falls, and I was out there once taking pictures, I don't know, about 20 years ago. And I watched this kayaker go over the falls, and he disappeared. And a lot of people around freaked out, and they called for me, get a rope. So I ran back to my car and got a rope. And by the time I got back, they found him. He was sort of hidden under a bank, and he was fine. But just the thought of that just scared the crap out of me. There's no way on earth I was going to do that. However, last year when I was in northern BC, I went to a little village called Atlin, and I did a video on it. I think it was called Atlin Attitudes, and it was a beautiful little mirror lake, and I saw kayakers, in the fog and the mist, perfectly calm lake, and I said, wow, that's just so beautiful. That's so free. I had it in the back of my mind for a year. And then finally, when I got to New Brunswick and realized there's so many calm, beautiful lakes, rivers out here, even the ocean at times, that I think I could do this. And so I am. And I'm glad I did. Another cool thing is you can back paddle with a kayak, and I can get right into this little sheltered area. Wow, too much into that sheltered area. Okay, in the trees. Hope there's no ticks in there. But I can just sort of chill. Take it all in. Before I was so restricted to the shore, and if you look in the shore there, it's not very friendly for a guy with a camera and a tripod. There's lots of fallen trees and rocks and holes and mud. I'm completely dry and mud-free right now. All because of a kayak. This is so awesome. there's some berries on the shore. There. Right here. I don't know what they are, but they're beautiful. And this is what opens up so many possibilities, because I don't have to rely on roads to get around. I don't have to deal with private property or paying a fee. And I can see beautiful things to photograph, like these berries. I'm not going to eat them, but they look pretty. Yeah, I could see this working out quite well. Anyway, I'm off. More exploring. Now, before I go any further, I want to see who was paying attention. Because for the first part of this video, or most of this video, I made a huge error as far as safety goes. Now, here I was talking about my phobia and how I feel more comfortable when I did something incredibly stupid. And this also tells me which ones actually watched the full video before commenting, because if they did see this, they probably have commented by now. Because yes, the mistake I made is I did not have my life jacket buckled up properly. I did when I got into the kayak. However, I needed additional sound, so I had this mic right here. And to put it through my vest, I unbuckled it and forgot. Dumb. Don't do that. Always do a safety check before you head out in the water. The other thing I forgot to mention was this little guy here, which is a very useless compass. It's also a thermometer, so wow, that's really going to help in an emergency. But it's also a whistle. So if I have to blow it in an emergency, it's on my life jacket and it kind of works. Always be safe. Hey, there's a bottle. I wonder if there's a message in it. Do not litter. That's the message in the bottle.
This first solo outing convinced me that I wanted to do this again, so I went back ashore to scout for a better campsite. It turns out there was one a lot closer to the water, meaning I wouldn't have to load up the Jeep every time I wanted to kayak.
Much better.
And of course, all that effort builds up a bit of an appetite. On board I had some minute rice, lentil tikka masala, a zucchini, and some bacon maple flavored tempeh. You just dice the veggies, throw the rice in boiling water and place the sauce pouch on top to heat. Smother the pan in oil for a stir fry. Put it all on a paper plate and spew that sauce on top.
So I call this my kayak special. For no other reason than there's a kayak in the background. But how does it taste? Actually, I'm surprised. It tastes a lot better than it looks. Quite spicy. And the bacon maple tempeh. I don't know if it tastes like bacon. Tastes like something. Good protein. That's all that counts. Oh. Spicy food on a hot day. Who came up with that idea? Oh, it is such a hot day. Even as the sun goes down, it's still incredibly hot. I think it was around 32, 33 Celsius today, which is around, I don't know, 88 Fahrenheit. But it's not the heat that's the problem, it's the humidity. It's stiflingly humid here. The sweat just clings to you. And of course I had a hot, spicy meal tonight, which didn't help. So yeah, I'm just, whew, so hot. There must be a way to cool. And I know everybody would just go in the water and have a swim. But I have a plan B. And my plan B is B for beer, an ice cold Bumble American Pale Ale by the Foghorn Brewing Company. Look at the condensation there. That is a cold frosty beer. And yeah, oh, do I need this one? Ooh, even just holding it's cold, cooling me down. Ah, tasty. Foghorn. I wonder if it's got anything to do with Foghorn Leghorn. One of my favorite cartoon characters when I was a kid. What's that, like Looney Tunes or Merry Melodies, whatever it is, I don't know. The loudmouth rooster. And he was always picking on Dog. I used to pick on my dog. At least I used to tease him. I think that's where I got it from. Foghorn Leghorn. Now I think when I started off this video I was a little bit negative about this campground. I don't think I even named it. It's called Mactaquac. It's Mactaquac Provincial Park campground. And yeah, when I first got here I was disappointed because I had a awful campsite. It was an awful campsite. It was just a soggy, muddy mess. But after I walked around, I realized that there were places near the water where I could just go down, get in my kayak, and travel down the river. And it's, yeah, so it's good that I sort of didn't go on my first impulses and just got out of here, because in reality, ooh, the waves, it's the speedboats. Reality, the other places around here, the RV parks, are terrible, for me at least. Packed in like sardines around these big rigs. Nah, I can't do that. At least I have a little space and trees, a noisy shoreline, and a good place to sit down and have a beer. So, if you're in the area, Mactaquac. Give it a try.
For my final morning, a golden sun had a glimmer twin dancing on a mirror of water. paradise.